In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and pink beetles.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of On the Bluff. I'm your host, Christian Fowler. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Gabe Kuhn, our producer, Kenny Stubblefield. Boys, how we doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, I enjoyed all the ball this weekend, and I'm ready to get to it, fellas.
Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this weekend, though? That's the question.
Always. Halfway. 50% ready for this weekend.
The weather. Have y'all seen the weather reports coming through?
I thought you were talking about Championship Sunday.
As long as it's snow and doesn't turn to ice and knock my power out, I think I'll be okay.
12 to 18 inches.
I've seen 19 to 25. I've seen 7 to 12. I've seen 10 to 18.
So that means we'll probably get like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, three inches of snow in Memphis is the equivalent of like a foot elsewhere. Let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Could you imagine 2 feet of snow?
No.
I know.
The city I can't imagine
the city was shut down for a month.
I can't imagine how people in Memphis would react.
Hopefully stay at home.
I mean, my wife even went to the store and got some bottled water.
Yeah.
It's not a bad call.
Stock up.
All right.
Start now, right? Like start now because
you
know it's about to go.
Yeah, if you go like Friday, it's going to be insane. Kenny, where are we starting tonight?
Well, let's start with we're going to go. The Tigers are now 2-0 this week. Oh, sorry. Let me put us back where we're supposed to be. I don't know how that just happened.
My gosh, you always make me dizzy with that.
I'm sorry.
Brady Bunch.
Thank you, StreamYard. Tigers went 2-0 this week. They had a turning the corner type of win against UTSA. Guys, we talked about this in the green room a little bit before. Is that the worst college basketball team you've ever seen? UTSA.
Oh, UTSA. I've been watching the Tigers play awful American Conference opponents for a long time now. That's the worst team I've seen them play in conference. Obviously, like they've had some, out of conference games against some real low mid-major schools that they've been worse teams, but that team in conference, I can't think of a team worse. I really
No,
can't. Can y'all? I mean, is there anything close?
no, not definitely not off the top of my head. Like, there's definitely been some bad American teams over the years since I've covered Memphis basketball, but as far as like as bad as they are, no, not at all. I'm
Bro,
y'all talk for a minute. I'm gonna
their
give
5
you.
starters had 0 points.
Y'all talk for a second. I will give you their average margin of defeat in conference.
Oh yeah, please do that. Are you doing math right now?
I'm doing math.
Like
Is that what's happening?
Gabe, we talk about we banter back and forth with different media members all across the city all the time about a potential 5-on-5 basketball game against media entity versus media entity, right? And like just behind the fourth wall to everybody that's paying attention to this show, who watches Bluff City Media content, who watches or who even listens to Gabe Kuhn on 92.9 or anybody else on 92.9, any of the other media networks out there, most of the time camera angles on podcasts and things like that can make one of your favorite content creator look pretty tall. Most of these dudes are pretty little. Am I wrong on that? Like,
No, I swear when it comes to like sports talk in the city,
yeah,
I'm definitely the tall. Me and you are definitely the tallest guys,
Yeah,
for sure.
you've met
Most
Rusty.
everybody else is pretty puny.
You've met
offense,
Rusty
my
in person.
boys.
You've met
What?
Rusty in person. Rusty's a good 6'4", 6'5". He's a
But
big
when we
dude.
say I'm the tallest,
I don't know. I mean, I think the three of us, it doesn't. I think it is kind of like, you know, who's ever wearing higher shoes that day.
but either way, I think I know where you're going with this. Continue, please.
Like the Bluff City Media, we have a contingency of content creators that are pretty tall. Like we got some big dudes. Anthony Sainz, 6'3". You're 6'5". I'm 6'4". Rusty's a good 6'5". Christian's a good 5'11". On a good day.
on a good day.
I mean, he did beat Damian Ball in a one-on-one basketball game. I will, if y'all don't let's not forget that happened.
That
back
did happen.
back in 2019. That did happen. But I think we could legitimately take a BCM like top 5 and probably go out there and compete.
I think we could put up points.
Yeah.
I think we'd get a bucket or two,
Yeah, we definitely.
which is saying something. I just want to be clear. That is saying something.
Yeah, so we know how bad the American is this year, right? Like we've discussed it a couple of times. UTSA has played that so far this season in conference. They started off with FAU, then Temple, Charlotte, Tulane, Rice, and Memphis. So that is not by any means a murderer's row of teams. Their average margin of defeat.
He said murderer's row.
It wasn't. Average margin of defeat, 25 points in a horrible, awful conference.
Man, like I just looking at the one against Rice at home, they lost by 16 at home to a Rice team that certainly has a losing record. I'm going to check where they're at in the net. I'm very curious
They
how
lost
far
to
down
FAU.
in the net they are.
They lost to FAU in their conference opener by 40 points. I mean, like,
That's
they're-
not good. That's pretty bad.
no. And so
They lost by 16 at home to the 249th ranked net team
that's so
in Rice.
That's so bad.
There is Roman had a stat after the game on Tigers Live, and I can't remember. I think it was field goal percentage. They are the worst shooting team in all of Division I basketball. They are 365th out of 365.
38% from the field.
Mm.
28% from 3.
Yeah. This team is really
Averages.
bad. Like this team
Yeah.
is really bad. The Tigers started off the conference schedule beating North Texas, which honestly was a pretty good win.
Do y'all want to know where they are in the net?
No.
Where?
Yes, I do.
350.
Out of 365. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
God.
350 out of 365.
That's crazy.
They're going to go over in conference, right? There's no way they even come within 10 points of these teams.
You would think so.
Yeah, but the Tigers, listen, all I can glean from that is maybe they built some confidence. Like I saw Sincere Parker score like we sort of expected him to coming in. Sort of that bench heater, that the microwave off the bench. I thought Doug was fine. Doug was good, 18, 6, and 6, 1 turnover. One thing that's really given me some hope going into the future is if Curtis Givens III can stay on campus. Like I'm seeing some real flashes from that kid, and he's starting to shoot more efficiently. He's good on ball. He plays hard defense. He seems to be in the right places. So I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from Curtis Givens. But listen, man, they have a game against Tulsa tomorrow, and I'm just going to be honest. I'm not sure they're going to win that one on the road. And I remember when we talked about it before the season, and we did Memphis versus the Field to win the American. And we all picked the Field and got absolutely eviscerated by Tiger fans. But I think most of those people that were saying that then have now come to the realization that if we're being honest with ourselves about this Memphis team, there's no real indication that they're any different or better than the other 4 or 5 teams at the top of this conference.
Right.
It's all about the same. Maybe you could talk about stars and talent out of high school, but past that, from a roster construction standpoint, the flaws, they're just about the same as the other teams at the top of this conference. Tulsa, Tulane, FAU. I just don't see any meaningful difference.
Yeah, so I know we said we were going to avoid the net this year because it doesn't matter, but I was looking at UTSA, obviously, and got curious where everybody else was because I really have stayed away from the net this year. Tulsa 51, South Florida 71, FAU 87, Wichita State 94, and then Memphis is 107. So according to the net, they're the 5th best, and Tulsa's got them by 56 spots.
And honestly, there's no reason to look at the net for Tiger fans, which is remember we did our positives 2 weeks ago? The positive is you have clarity. You know exactly what this team needs to do to get where you want them to go, which is the NCAA tournament. Seed yourself the best going into the conference tournament and win the damn thing. There's your clarity. We don't need to look at the net anymore. But I did find it hilarious. 356 is what you said, or 350?
350, yeah.
For UTSA?
Yeah. And there's 6 teams that are 150 and lower. And the 7th is 148. So
I think what we're really understanding about this Tigers team is that at home, they could win games against the top teams in the American Conference. The question is on the road. What's the road schedule going to look like for them? They're on the road these next 2 games. They had 2 cupcake games against Temple and against UTSA, and they won both of those games. I would say the Temple game was a little bit closer than what they wanted it to be. I think they won. Yeah,
by 2.
They won by 2. Yeah, so it was definitely
53. Yeah,
definitely closer than what you wanted it to be. The UTSA game, obviously, the final score being what it was, they were only up by 10 going into the second half. And legitimately, with a minute left in the first half, they were up by 4 against that UTSA team. Obviously, some adjustments were made and some different things happened, and the better team finally pulled away in the second half and came out on top. But these next 2 games this week are Tulsa on the road and Wichita State on the road. Now, Tulsa and Wichita State are not good teams, but neither is Memphis. And so because of that, they're both on the road. You have a legitimate shot here to potentially see them drop 2 straight conference games, which really then muddies up everything in terms of fighting for that top 1 or 2 spot in the American Conference. Penny called it in his weekly radio show. He called it Separation Week. That this is a week of separation, and he feels really good that they're turning a corner and that they are turning a corner and doing some things that gives him hope that this week will be a week where the Tigers eventually separate themselves from the rest of the American Conference. Gabe, do you see that happening? Not even say separate. Do you see the things that he's talking about?
No.
Are there any things you see?
No. I guess if you want to try to, paint with a positive, if you have your Tiger blue glasses on and you watch that UTSA game and they won by 26 and it was never up in the air, I guess you could say they're doing some things the right way. Sincere Parker's scoring. Doug was efficient. But, like, I can't take anything away from that game because the opponent is so poor. And if we're being, completely real about the Temple game, what about that game gave you a bunch of ammunition to say, oh, we've really turned a corner? I didn't see it. I really didn't. The one thing that they did do in that game that I was very happy with, they turned some defense into offense. They got 14 turnovers from a team that only averages 8, and they turned that into 16 points on the other end. They outscored them off turnovers 16-2. Yeah. I think when this team's going to have to win, it's going to have to be ugly, and that's what it's going to have to look like against better teams in this conference. But, like, when you say we're doing some things the right way, like, I really don't see anything different. Maybe he's around them a lot more, okay? He's in practice with them. He sees their effort, their intensity, their attention to detail up close. But I can probably speak for all Tiger fans when I say, having watched his 2 games the past, week, these 2 wins, I didn't see anything of note for me to say, oh, this team, they're ready. They're going to win this conference. They're going to run away with it. This is the start of something good. I don't know about you guys, but I don't see it.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I think if they win the next 2 on the road, then maybe we can have a conversation about have they figured something out, because Tulsa, even though not a great team, they are by a pretty decent margin the highest in the net in the American. So if you can go on the road and beat a team where I think they're 6.5-point underdogs right now, Tulsa's 13-3, 4-2 in the conference, like, okay, you go beat them in Wichita State, who are both ranked higher than you according to metric rankings, then we can have a conversation about are they turning a corner. But I could not agree with your statement more, Gabe. Like, the UTSA win, it's one of the 16 worst teams in the country. It's not like they beat a quality conference opponent. They beat literally one of the worst teams in the entire country by 26.
They were favored by 20.5 and they won by 26.
Right. That's not that impressive. And same sentiment with Temple. Like, it's not like they blew out a pretty bad Temple team.
Ugly, gross offensive game too.
Yeah. And it was close. It was a 2-point game.
The leading scorer was Curtis Givens with 12.
Yeah, and they scored 55 points in that game. So
can I be honest, in that game, I mean, I know I'm probably throwing it back a little bit. People have already put this stuff in the past, but the lack of attention to detail is alarming. Yeah. At the end of that game, they're switching to 2-3 zone. They know they're going to switch to 2-3 zone, and they get caught with their big up at the top as one of the 2, and Curtis Givens is down low as sort of in the shot blocker area, and they're trying to switch back in the middle of the possession when they're up by 4, and here comes Gavin Griffiths right down the middle of the lane to cut it to 2 with just a crazy dunk. How about Zach Davis with 6 minutes to go after a terrible offensive possession for the Tigers, he fouls in transition to put them into the bonus. Like, I watch these things and I'm like, I don't know if it's like a lack of coaching or a lack of Penny being able to get through to these guys, but there's just a clear lack of awareness situationally that shows up in games that are closer and are up in the air. And that Temple game was a good example of that. And I almost saw the opposite of turning a corner in that game, weirdly enough. Yeah, you got to win over a team that has somewhat of a pulse, but I saw too many things in that game. Lack of offense, lack of creation, lack of one-on-one scoring that I think will continue to show up.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing that I would say is when he says turning a corner, once again, I'll say it like I've said it before. When Penny talks about the team, he's projecting his own thing onto the team. All right. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is, he projects his own thoughts and insecurities on to the team. So when he says the team is turning a corner, to me, what I hear is Penny has turned a corner. All right. And I'll give you an example. I think they played 12 guys against UTSA. 8 guys had more than double-digit minutes in that game. Only 8. There were it was a very clear top 8 rotation that he had. William Wharton started the game in place of Aaron Bradshaw, but the rest of the guys stayed the same. Hassan Abdul Hakim had 21 minutes. Doug had 30. Quante had 23. Curtis Givens had 30. Ashton off the bench had 22. Sincere had 21, and Zach Davis played 20 minutes. I think when Aaron Bradshaw comes back, you can probably replace William Wharton's 13 minutes and put that towards Aaron Bradshaw. And Aaron will probably get a lot more minutes than that, because as unplayable as he was at the beginning of the year, he is, I think, very firmly, just by process of elimination, proved himself to be the only big that Penny can really trust on this team.
It was brutal to see him get injured.
Yeah,
right?
That was tough.
Because it was just like, it felt like you were finally, with him in particular, I'm not talking about the team.
Yeah.
I felt like you were turning the corner a bit.
Well, and Penny is saying, he said last night in his radio show that he thinks he'll be back. That his injury is not as severe as what they thought. There's no structural damage. And so there's an expectation and a hope, really, that Julius Tedford and Aaron Bradshaw will be back in the lineup starting tomorrow. Which would be great for this team.
What you're thinking is that Penny, when he says we're turning a corner, it's him saying he's turned a corner in regards to how to play his guys,
like his
when to
understanding,
play his guys, his rotation.
I'll give you a real clear example of that. At the beginning of the season, Doug McDaniel started he was the starting point guard and had the ball in his hands the majority of the time. Curtis Givens came off the bench in a backup point guard role and kind of led the second unit, if you will. In the last couple of games, you've seen Penny combine the Curtis and Doug minutes together. They're together now out there. Doug played 30 in this last game. Curtis played 30 in this last game. I think that's a very smart move by Penny Hardaway, because common basketball knowledge would tell you want to have a guy who can handle the ball. Because right now on this team, there are only two guys that I trust to handle the ball and run the offense in a real way: Doug McDaniel and Curtis, right? And so you would think, okay, when Doug's not on the floor, you want to have Curtis out there running the offense and moving the ball up and down, passing, getting the offense going. Well, Doug's not coming off the floor much. He only played 30 minutes of it just because they were up by 20 points, and with he didn't play much. He didn't play as much as he usually does. I like that Penny has made. I think Penny has turned a corner in how he is coaching and putting the best players out there possible to start the game, and holding on to hope when they're not out there, if that makes sense. Because that's kind of what you have to do with the team.
I think it's by necessity because of the injuries to Thedford and to Bradshaw.
Right.
But like a little more leash with the guys that he's throwing out there.
Yeah.
8 guys played double-digit minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
And this game in particular. And one of those guys was William Wharton, who I'd imagine will be a single-digit guy a night or less than that when Aaron Bradshaw comes back.
Yeah.
I guess I see a semblance of something forming in regards to a rotation and an understanding of pecking order. But still, I gotta see more. If you're a Tiger fan and you're positive about the past week, them going 2-0 against those teams, by all means,
go for it.
Find your positivity.
I
just have to see a whole lot more before I get on the, the corner. They've turned the corner. This team's headed for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
that's too much for me.
Well, and apparently according to Love, which is a hilarious name, for the last 3 seasons, BCM won't believe in the new Tigers roster until Penny and the Tigers make them believe.
Well,
I can't listen anymore tonight.
Bandwagon
Laugh out loud.
Support. What do we do here? Love, what do you think our job is here? Do you think we're supposed to I'm not going to say what I want to say, but do you think I'm just supposed to love on this team all the time, even when they're playing like garbage? What is it that you think we do here? Love 4026, please.
Here's the funny part about
me. What are we talking about? Bandwagon support.
Yeah, the funny part about Memphis fans is that Penny Hardaway will dog talk his teams, and if we repeat it and talk about it, we're the negative. We're the bandwagon supporters, right? Listen,
Yeah,
love,
if we
love.
take the field over the Tigers
Yeah.
in the American Conference regular season title, it's
Love. Shout out to you. I'm just telling you, if you want to go and listen to Fluff podcasts, go listen to the Memphis Tigers podcast.
yeah.
That's
Go
what
listen
they
to his
do.
radio show or something.
Go
Like,
listen to the radio
but,
show.
yeah,
That's
what
fine.
I'm just love. I'm just confused on what it is you think we do here. I just that's all I think there's a miscommunication going on somewhere down the line.
Nobody cuts a check to us from the University of Memphis.
Yeah.
Like, we don't work for the University of Memphis. So we are fans of the University of Memphis. I am, at least. I'll gladly admit I'm a fan of the University of Memphis. And if there's any part of anybody, as a fan, I'll put down my BCM hat for a second and say, if there is any part of any Memphis fan that is saying they are pleased with what they've seen this year,
Lying to yourself.
you're lying to yourself, and that's okay.
And
Penny Hardaway isn't pleased with what he's seen this year. It's okay.
I just thought about this too. For the last 3 seasons, BCM won't believe in the new Tigers roster until Penny and the Tigers make them believe. Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Isn't that the whole point of sports? If you lose, if you start the season 8-8, I don't think a lot of people are going to be that believing in you. If you start at 10-3 in the non-con and you're ranked in the top 25, yeah, I'm going to believe in you. That's that's what sports do. I'm confused by this whole comment, but our guy Wayno, thank you, Wayno. Go home at love. You're drunk. There we go. Thank you, Wayno.
I do have some quotes that I want to give y'all. I think the most interesting part of this season is less about the games. The games aren't really all that interesting.
No.
The comments after the games about Penny Hardaway are prime time stuff to me. Like, and we all know this. We've covered teams in the past. When Ryan Silverfield was the head coach here, you knew for a fact when you were going into a press conference, Christian, you remember this, you knew exactly what was going to be said after every single.
You weren't going to get anything fun.
Nothing fun was being said ever, right? With Penny Hardaway, it is absolutely different. He says things that there is not a single moment, there's not a single press conference that we cover that you don't walk away going, damn, that was crazy, right? Like, that was wild. That's a story. You can write about that. You can talk about those things.
Yeah, I was there. We were in the room for F. Rick Barnes. So
we were in the room for we want all the smoke. We were in the room for stop asking me stupid effing questions, right? Like, we were in the room for all that. And it's gold for us. Like, we love it. I love Penny Hardaway press conferences. Well, at the radio show last night, he said some things that I thought were super interesting. And he talked about specifically, he said, talking about Hassan Abdul Hakim and Zach Davis. And he says, I've challenged both Hassan and Zach Davis because they both should be mismatches. What are y'all's thoughts as you've watched Hassan Abdul Hakim? Is he, quite literally to me, guys, he might be the most frustrating player on this team?
Yeah. I think he can over dribble it sometimes when he wants to go, score, and he wants to go score. I watched him at UT Rio Grande Valley last year. He's a guy who likes to go score. So I think he can get himself over involved on ball sometimes, and that could lead to turnovers and a little bit of erratic play. I also just think he's a generally, like, if you're going to get the most out of him, he's more of a volume guy. Yes. He's not going to get volume on this team.
No.
Right.
So it's like you're in a weird spot with him. But I will say this, like, when we talk about offensive talents on this team, I'd put him on the short list top 3.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Sincere Parker, Doug, him, probably the 3 of offensive players. Zach Davis, to me, is a completely different story. Like, I think they are almost anti of each other. Like, Zach Davis, to me, is more of a defensive player who can give you pace and energy, where Hassan Abdul Hakim is a guy who is almost expressly going to give you something on the offensive end.
Can be a scorer, yeah.
So, like, I don't really understand grouping them in the same putting them in the same grouping. You know what I mean? No. They're not the same player at all. But by all means, challenge those guys because you need more out of them if you're going to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Hassan that drives me crazy is that you see the obvious talent that's out there. Like physically wise, he's 6'8", probably close to 220, 230
Yeah.
pounds, can post up, can off the dribble play make. He can shoot the ball relatively well.
Yeah, he shoot the ball like he's 33 to 35%.
Like decently well. And in college basketball, if you can shoot the ball 35% from the 3-point line, I would consider you like upper level 3-point shooter in college basketball if you can shoot 35%.
Yeah, but I think he's 18?
Yeah, he ain't great. He can though. But that's the problem.
At UT Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, he's doing his damn thing. The thing that frustrates me about him is that at times he looks absolutely disinterested in being out there to play basketball. And I'm just like, bro, crack a smile. Like get animated. Do you know why we love DeAndre Williams so much? Is because that man was a wild man on the floor, right?
Psychopath.
And maybe that's not Hassan, but at times like the movement and the actions are so deliberate and slow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
speed it up, my man. Speed up.
I'm glad you bring this up because I was thinking about this when I saw the same thing. I see the same thing show up with him. I wonder if it's like UT Rio Grande Valley, if you watched him last year at all. I saw him against Creighton when he had like 26 or 36, whatever it was. I mean, he was the focal point. That's who they ran their offense through. And I wonder if this role was not what he envisioned or if he's uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. That's what
unsure, like. Maybe paralysis by analysis.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
That's it.
When I watched him, because last year it was easy for him. Put the ball in his hands, go create for yourself or somebody else. This year, he doesn't know when he's going to get minutes. He doesn't know who he's going to get minutes with.
A lot more thinking. It's not as free and easy as giving him the ball and letting him go score and be the focal point. It's a completely different role than what he did there.
It's almost like there's a level of I don't want to make mistakes.
Yes.
And so I don't want to because I don't want to either be embarrassed or I don't want to be
because
I don't want to get benched and not play.
That's the other point. Because the leash is just not naturally, it has not been naturally long for anybody on this team.
Right.
And you might go one game where you play 2 minutes and the next game you play 38 minutes. You just
hopefully that's figured itself out a little bit better.
I hope so.
After watching these last 2 games, but we'll see. We'll see. But I think a lot of these guys on this roster struggle with that, knowing when they're going to play or how they're going to be deployed.
Yeah.
Are we going to play? Am I going to play 3 minutes or 30?
Yeah.
I purposely didn't share this last quote with you because I wanted to get y'all's natural reaction to it. I love, and this is just, again, behind the fourth wall. This is Penny Hardaway absolutely trying to change the way that we cover this specific player, the way we talk about this specific player. And I kudos to him for trying to do this, but this quote made me laugh so hard because I have very clear, distinct memories of just a few weeks ago. He says this about Aaron Bradshaw. He says, Aaron has been the perfect teammate. I don't know what happened at Kentucky or Ohio State, but with this team, he's been a caring person for his team, putting them first, putting the team first. Aaron has been the perfect teammate. And immediately when I saw that quote, I was like, well, I remember a few weeks ago, Dane Bradshaw telling everybody on the national broadcast that Penny Hardaway had told him that he had to fine him $22,000 in NIL money for missing practice and whatever, all those things. I'm like, okay, wait a second. Like, what is going on here? Is it somewhere in the middle? Or like, what is it Penny just literally trying to change the way we talk about Aaron Bradshaw?
And real quick, Dane Bradshaw broke that on the telecast, but shout out to Roman Cleary,
yes,
of Bluff City Media for following up and confirming that report. So that is true. That did happen. He did get fined $20,000+ because he was late to meetings and didn't show up and all of that. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
I really don't know what to say. I think I speak for everybody when I say I don't know what to say. What
he's trying to give him some good PR, Gabe. That's it.
It's got to be right.
I mean, what's what's the other option? I don't know what the other option is there. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Bro,
Like maybe
that's
he's
on
been-
it. It's just like using context clues also. Like it's just insane for him to say that. It is.
Yeah.
He's the only guy on the team who's gotten in trouble and had to be fined for missing meetings and being late to meetings. He's the only person that has been written about or reported about.
Well, and
that's the one you like single out like he's perfect.
He's perfect.
Teammate.
Yeah. Like
Wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing.
Maybe a better story, and this is free PR for the University of Memphis. Maybe the better story is that, yeah, man, like Aaron had a rough first couple of months here this season.
But he's figured it out.
And guess what? He's turned it around. And look at what he's doing on the court right now.
Yeah.
Like he is fully bought into what I'm trying to do here with this program.
Yeah.
And guys, he's fully bought in. And look at the production he's doing. This is what happens when you buy into Penny Hardaway's system. That's the PR. That's the story.
Yeah. Not that he's been perfect.
Not whitewashing that he's been a perfect teammate. Because we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Aaron Bradshaw. Like, let's pivot from that and say shout out to him. Like, he had a rough go at Ohio State. He had a rough go at Kentucky. He came to Memphis, and initially it started off really rough for him, but he's turned it around, and he's playing really, really well right now. He's doing really good things for this Tigers team, and so shout out to him. I really hope he comes back because honestly. Like, I hope he comes back quickly because, honestly, this team needs
They need him. Yeah, they definitely need him. All right, boys. Well, we have a pretty busy hot three to get to. We had the national championship last night, so we'll discuss that. We'll talk NFL divisional round, and we got some Grizzlies on tap for the hot three, too. So be back after this break with the hot three.
In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles. Memphis Tiger fans, this one matters. Wednesday night, the Tigers take on Tulsa in a game that could shake up the entire top of the American Conference standings. First place is crowded, every win counts. So you should join us for the Bluff City Media watch party at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Collierville. Big screens, cold drinks, great food, and Tiger fans taking over the room. High stakes and conference tournament seating on the line, Memphis versus Tulsa. So let's clear up the standings together. See you at Mugshots. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
All right, we are back with the hot three. Guys, we do have a watch party tomorrow at Mugshots for the Memphis Tulsa game. Come hang out with me and Roman Cleary. We'll be out there at 7 o'clock. We'll immediately do a Tigers Live afterwards from Mugshots. Going to be a lot of fun. Come check out the peanut butter burger over there. It is fantastic. It is so good, man. It is so good. The owner of the Carville and Olive Branch place, John Dean, brought me out the last time I had the peanut butter burger. He brought out some jelly and spread it.
Yep.
Oh, son. Oh,
it's the way to do it.
Oh, son, it's so good. Anyway,
with like sunflower butter or something. I'm allergic to peanuts. You know this.
Oh man, I forgot about this. Yeah, maybe. I hope that'd be great.
There's so many good things I've missed out.
There are.
That is terrible.
I'm allergic to peanuts, and that just count that as another.
Listen, you're a high-level Division I athlete. You're a damn good-looking dude.
Was.
Wait. To the first or second? To the first or second?
No,
good-looking dude or high level?
You always look good. You were
right. Yeah.
So God had to laugh at you and be like, "I'm going to make you a beast of a man, make you good-looking, and a Division I athlete,
professional athlete.
Professional athlete. What are we talking about? A pro athlete. I'm going to give you a peanut allergy just to make things equal."
I used to eat sunflower butter and jelly.
I never had sunflower butter.
Either that or almond butter, which somehow I'm not allergic to. My mom let me know it's in the peach family. Almonds are in the peach family, so I don't know if they have the same whatever allergens.
They clearly don't.
It make me break out.
Well, hey, listen, I know we spent the entire first segment talking about basketball, which is wild because I didn't think we were going to do that. So, but we had a lot to talk about. But I have a video that I want to show you guys. Charles Huff, the guys that have signed with the University of Memphis to play football this next season are here on campus. They got here on the 15th or the 16th of January. And so he had a meeting with them, and the University of Memphis filmed part of his talk. And then let me tell you, bro, inject every bit of this into my veins 3 times on Sunday, right? Like, this is freaking awesome, and I wanted to play it for you and get y'all's reaction. I didn't get all this set up beforehand. That's my fault.
Life don't get easier. It ain't gonna get easier when you get to the NFL. You just learn how to handle hard better. Okay? And then we begin the process of closing the gap. Okay? And that's what we're here for, right? So, just a little bit of a snapshot, right? Why did they hire me? Over the last 5 years, Memphis has been 50-25, 2 10-win seasons.
Hell yeah.
Actually, a really good program.
Really good
Bowl games every year for the last 5 years, winning 4 out of 5 of those bowl games. Really good. Multiple players in that 5-year span are on active NFL roster. 15 on active roster, which is really good.
Yep, that's really good.
What is the gap? What do we need to do? In that same 5-year span, the highest they finished in this conference in that 5-year span has been 3rd. 0 conference championships and 0 conference championship game appearances. So now do you understand why you're here?
Woo.
Now you understand why we chose you. We in this together. They chose me, and I in turn chose you. Not to come in here and just add to the story of how good Memphis has been, but to close the gap from good to great. You guys have heard.
Hell
We need one of these, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's time. Hold up. Let me focus this. Real quick so you can see it. Get it nice up and close. Oh, it's not focusing.
It's not focusing. All right.
Oh, there it is.
Hey!
I need one of those, baby. You know what? I'll just say this, and we've already touched on this. His awareness about what he is supposed to do is awesome. I mean, it's no notes. I had him on the show today, actually, guys, and I just come away impressed with the guy, more and more impressed with the guy every time I speak with him, hear him talk. And obviously that does not equal wins, but I will say this: the guy exudes confidence, and some of that confidence is rubbed off on me in regards to what they're going to do going into next year. UNLV in week 0, they have a tough schedule as far as road games are concerned. You're going to have Navy, USF, Tulane, and UNLV on the road. So we'll see how he manages it, but brother. I can appreciate someone who knows the job that they have and what they're supposed to do with it. And listen, this is not shade at all. But at times, I think Tiger fans, myself included, questioned if Ryan fully grasped that by the end at Memphis. I think there was, yes, he could get up in front of a camera or a microphone and say, oh, 9-3 and no conference title is not good enough. But, you know, in the end of the day, I always felt as if he wanted more appreciation for the 8 and 9 win seasons that he was getting. And Charles Huff is basically setting it up to where he knows win a conference title, go to a conference title game, or my ass is on the line.
Yeah.
And having that understanding on top, up front,
it's crazy.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Great.
No, my only thought from that is not only does he have a deep understanding of why he was brought here, but he is conveying that to his team, and I think that's so important because you said what he's doing is setting expectations from day one with the players. Like, look, all these things are good, but it's not what we're here to do, and it's not good enough. It's not what the expectation of the fan base or myself is. Like, that expectation is to win conference championships, and that's, to me, that's huge. Now, like you said, Gabe, doesn't win any games. It doesn't get you in the conference championship, but having a clear picture of that and an understanding as a coach and a player is a good start.
That would be like a perfect opening scene for Hard Knocks with the Hard Knocks music in the background.
Yeah.
And he does talk like a football coach. K?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, K.
Yeah.
All right.
Right? Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, he's got it.
Friggin' awesome. All right, let's get to it. It's not too often. This is the hot three, the three hottest stories in sports today. It's not too often that global international news resides in the city of Memphis. But in the NBA world, it has happened this past week. Ja Morant, who has been out for a little bit of time, the majority of the season he's been out, reports came out that the Grizzlies were making him available. They were listening to trade talks for Ja Morant, which is a steep departure from where Zach Kleiman has been even at the beginning of this season. We are not trading Ja Morant. He's not going anywhere. And then 40 games into the season, now they're saying we're open to hearing good offers. And that blew up, right? Obviously, Ja Morant is a global superstar with the Nike brand, with the NBA stuff, with everything. You saw it in Berlin and London this last week. The guy's a global superstar. What are your, like, initially, like, just off the top, like, what are your thoughts on this situation with Ja Morant and the Grizzlies? Because obviously he's back now. He played a game in London, had a fantastic game, led the Grizzlies to a win over the Orlando Magic, and a lot of fans changed their tune after that game a little bit in terms of how they talked about him. What are y'all's thoughts?
Well, I don't blame fans for changing their tune because different days with Ja Morant provide different context and facts.
Yeah.
So it's like one day I may think the best plan of action is to let him play out the rest of the season, see what it looks like, see how often he can stay on the floor. He's played 77 games in a 3-year span, or 78 now if you count Sunday.
Right.
So that's not good enough. But if he can play the rest of this second half, play well, then maybe you could look at keeping him long term, or maybe he can replenish some of his trade value, because none of the trade packages that can be offered to you right now are worth a shit. To be completely frank with you, I saw what the Heat are willing to give up. They want to give up Terry Rozier's contract to go get
who might be in jail, who might be
a player. And in the end of the day, the Grizzlies are asking for a first-round pick and a young player. So, like, none of these packages that I've seen that are actually real being reported on are really getting up there. So, right now, I think that they should wait and probably pass the trade deadline. Get to it this summer if they want to, but if he plays well and you can reconcile, that would be great. He says he doesn't want to get traded, so there's that. But if he would have asked me when they got to Berlin, when he was hanging his head and pouting and getting into arguments on the floor with Vince Williams Jr., I would have said for the team because it seems like he's a bit cancerous, you need to go ahead and trade him now. So again, it depends on the day.
Yeah.
How I feel about John Morant. It depends on how he acts, what his press conferences look like. Did he play well that day? It is so dependent on how the situation looks currently. So right now I'm in the mode of wait till this offseason. Then you can try to trade him. But who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point because you really don't. I mean, he has shown the Grizzlies fan base to kind of expect the unexpected. But I think I share a similar thought to you as far as this team doesn't feel like a team that's going to be competing for much this year. If they were, and he had not been involved much with the team to this point and was bringing down whatever kind of momentum the coaching staff and, just the organization felt like they had, okay, then moving on just might make sense to remove a cancer. But they don't look great. He played well, at least in the last game, was 24 points, 13 assists, shot well from the floor. I think, like you said, worst case scenario potentially is he plays well the rest of the season and you can revisit this discussion in the offseason when potentially he has more.
I'm glad you're bringing this up. Go ahead and read it, Kenny.
Yeah, Wayno, good friend of the program, good friend of BCM all the way over in Australia, says 41 games left to prove us wrong. Show us you are a part of the team, not the team.
I would love that. That's a very well. I mean, that's a very well stated way of putting this, Wayno. I think the situation, if I'm reading the context clues correctly, are I think both Ja and Zach Kleiman in the front office would prefer for Ja to be in a Grizzlies uniform long term.
Yeah.
But I think both of the parties want it on their own terms. What do I mean by that? I think Zach Kleiman wants Ja to have less of a say and not to have an extension right now until he proves he can play more than 78 games in 3 years. Yeah. I think Ja wants to stay with the Grizzlies, but he wants his extension and he wants,
whatever he wants.
Anything he asks for off the floor. He wants to have, potential personnel decision-making behind the scenes. He wants all of these different things. And here's another thing Wayno put out there, and I tend to agree with this as well. ZK is finally holding Ja accountable this season, and he hasn't handled it well. They're treating Ja as a piece of the whole, not the whole. And
not the head of it.
It's a lot different for him now, and it just has not gone over well. But again, I think if in a perfect world, Zach Kleiman would want Ja to be here, and Ja would want to be here in Memphis. But I think both of those parties want their terms,
their way,
if that's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, long term here. Last question for this topic. Long term here. In 2 years, when Myers turns 3 years old, and he's like, "Daddy, take me to a Memphis Grizzlies game," and you say, "Yes, son. Let's go sit in the box. We'll go in the box because I'm rich like that. Let's go sit in the box."
Okay.
Is Ja Morant number 12 going to be there?
Right now, I'd say no.
Yeah.
I think if the Grizzlies were not very serious about trading him, they would have come out and said,
that's not on the table.
It's not on the table because it took like a week last time for Zach Kleiman to come out and say, I know that a lot of other front office members fantasize about us wanting to trade him, but it's never going to happen. So we have a track record of the Grizzlies front office getting ahead of Ja Morant trade talks, and the fact that they haven't tells the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly. All right, let's get on to some fun stuff. Let's get on to some football. Y'all's wheelhouse, the place y'all love to live. Last night, college football playoffs, national championship went down. Miami versus Indiana. Indiana was 3-9 2 seasons ago, and they had a coaching decision they had to make between one Ryan Silverfield and one Kirk Cignetti over at James Madison.
You're being facetious, right? Ryan was not actually up for that job. I've seen people tweet about that. But
I have been told unequivocally he was offered the job. Unequivocally. I might be wrong, but all I know is Ryan was interviewed for that job. He was in the running. All right.
Wait. You just changed it.
Neither here nor there.
I was told he was interviewed, but I was told he was offered. Which one is it, Kenny? Unequivocally, one was it?
I've been told both.
He said too much.
I said too much. I'm backtracking now. Here I go.
He did not get offered that job. He did.
Okay. Well,
let's go. Let's talk Kurt Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers, man. Shout out to them, right?
Yeah.
National champions.
Yeah, the first 16-win season, 16-0 undefeated season since 1894 Yale. A lot of people have been putting that out there. Obviously, games change, it's different, whatever. Say what you want. This is, to me, probably the coolest sports story of my lifetime as far as on the field stuff. Obviously, people overcome things. There's a lot of cool sports stories in the world. But as far as just a change in a program, there's never been anything like this that I've seen firsthand and watched the whole thing unfold. Indiana was the doormat of all doormats. Gabe and I talked about this on his show earlier today. They had not won a bowl game since 1991.
Lee Corso, shout out.
Do what?
Lee Corso, shout out.
Yeah,
he was the last coach to win a bowl game.
Me and Gabe were not even born yet the last time that
I was
that Indiana won a bowl game. Their quarterback, who won them the national championship last night, was -12. So
Kurt Signetti was a male cheerleader as a part of that at Indiana.
Also on that bowl game front, they've won 6 bowl games all time. They won 3 this season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They won half of their bowl games in 2026.
Yeah, they hadn't won the Big Ten since 1967, I believe. They were the first program to hit 700 losses. They were the doormat of all doormats. No one talked about, discussed, or worried about Indiana. Most teams, when they were going to Bloomington or Indiana was coming to their stadium, they were marking that down as a win every single year.
Yes.
They were nothing. They were a nothing burger. In comes Kurt Signetti, who took about just the one of the most wild routes you'll ever hear to get to this point. From being on Alabama's original Saban staff and probably could have stayed and parlayed that into a Power 5 job somewhere. Instead, went to IUP, went to Elon, went to James Madison. And even after all the success at James Madison, didn't go to a bigger name school, went to Indiana, who had Kalen DeBoer a few years before, had one successful year with Michael Penix as the quarterback. Kalen DeBoer goes to Washington. Michael Penix leaves. They bring in Tom Allen. They go back to nothing. The 1 year with DeBoer and Penix was a blip on the radar, and then it was over. Like Kenny said, they went 3-9. They fired Tom Allen. They bring in Kurt Signetti. He goes 11-2, takes them to the college football playoff with a team that was solid, but not really that great. They didn't really have a chance to win a national championship last year. They still had a decent amount of deficiencies on that team. Coming into this year, everyone was kind of thinking the same thing as when Kalen DeBoer and Michael Penix had that successful year. It was like, okay, that is not sustainable. This is Indiana. We feel great for them. That was an awesome year, but they're not going to do that again. They follow that up by going 16-0, winning Big Ten championship, winning 3 bowl games, as Gabe said, and winning a national championship, having the Heisman Trophy winner, and they will own the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Like, it is just, how does that happen? And yeah, you can go into all the things about Sig and the mentality that he brings and the coaching staff that he brought with him and the players that he recruited, but it just, like, even though we see in front of our eyes how it happened, it's still almost unexplainable.
Yeah, I would just put Kurt Signetti and his team in the category of rule breakers. They broke every rule imaginable when it comes to winning a national title and who can win it and how you can win it and with what type of player, what caliber of recruit that you're doing it with. Indiana became the first team in the modern era, in the recruiting era, to win a national title with 4 and 5 stars making up less than 50% of their roster.
Yeah,
So every
Kenny,
single national
guess what the number was? The blue chip number for Indiana. Guess what it was?
I know it. I was
If
about
it's
to
less
read
than
it.
half, I mean, we're talking about what is it?
Way less than half.
Like 10,
It's
is it-
8%.
8%.
8% of their roster.
No one
with
else had
4
done it for less
stars.
than
Not a
50.
single 5-star on their entire roster. 8% was 4 stars. But there was no modern era national title winner with less than 50% as blue
crazy.
chip ratio.
They did it with 8.
And they are the anti-blue blood. Like they are like if you needed an antonym for blue blood in college football, Indiana's name would have popped up previous to this year. They played 4 of the bluest of blue bloods, in my opinion: Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, Miami, in their 4 games to end the year. Big Ten title and 3 playoff games. They beat those teams by a combined 134 to 56. Moving on, Indiana has had as many AP top 10 wins this season as it did in the entire history of its program previously. What do I mean by that? Their entire history against AP top 10 teams before 2025 this season, they were 116-1. This year alone, they were 6-0. Now, final thing, I just want to do this to sort of really bring this home, breaking all the rules, being the first to do things. I have a list. It's very long, so bear with me, of the firsts and the accolades that Kurt Cignetti has accomplished through 2 years. Will you give me the floor to do this? It may take a minute.
Send it.
First 10-win, 11-win, 12-win, 13-win, 14-win, 15-win, and 16-win season in program history. First 16-win FBS season ever. First undefeated season in program history. First top 5 matchup in program history. First game of the century in program history. First win over the number 1 team in program history. First time being the number 1 program in team history. First Heisman winner in program history. First time beating Ohio State in 37 years. First time winning the conference outright in 80. First playoff appearance in program history. First playoff win in program history. First bowl win in 35 years. First Rose Bowl win in program history. First time beating Alabama in program history. First Peach Bowl win in program history. 27-2 record in that time span. Best in the country in 24-25. 2 losses that they took these 2 years were against the 2 teams that played for last year's national title. And of course, the first national championship in program history and the first ever champion since 1996 Florida. I'm done.
I mean, I don't think you go anywhere from that. I think he wrapped it up perfectly. I don't know what else you can say.
I got these mental images of these flashbacks of there was a golf tournament where Tiger Woods was being announced in the first tee, and they started going through all of his accolades, and you hear Phil Mickelson, who was his partner that day, go, all right, we get it. No, it's a phenomenal year. Last part of this topic, how great is the college football playoffs?
Yeah.
Like, dude,
I'm glad that the Big Ten and SEC may not agree to expand or to terms of what it's going to look like going
Sounds
forward.
like it's going to be 12
because
again
I
next
like
year.
the 12-team playoff. I enjoy
yeah, dude, it is so much fun. Is it a good thing that a 10 seed won? Y'all think it's a good thing?
Or 10 seed got to the Natty?
They went.
Oh, Miami 10 seed. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought Indiana was a 10 seed, but they
Oh, no.
were
They
were
were 10 seed.
they are
16-0.
They're 1 seed. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
But no, I think parity is a good thing for college football. How many conversations did we have from 2014 to about 2021 where we were debating if this was boring, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you have this 4-team playoff and it's the same 4 teams
Every
the same
year.
group
Every
of-
year.
Same group of 8 every year.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Clemson,
Alabama,
Ohio State, Alabama,
Georgia.
I think it's always that. So I think the postseason in college football is a lot healthier than people act like.
Yes.
And I don't think it needs change. And did you hear Pete Thamel and what he said about this was in the pregame show in College Game Day, but what he said the Big Ten wants and what the SEC wants?
Yeah, Big Ten wants 24, SEC wants 16.
They want if they're gonna the Big Ten wants if they go to 16, he wants a guarantee that in 2 years they'll get to 24.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why wouldn't we just stick at 16? Why would you already make plans for the next? That's dumb as hell. So yeah, I enjoy the hell out of this playoff.
Yeah.
Grizz Girl says a little humble pie for the SEC. Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Miami.
A lot bit.
Miami, a team that most folks were like, why are they in the playoff, made it to the national championship. Indiana, the list of first that Gabe just gave us, it was still a fantastic game. Carson Beck did Carson Beck things at the end of that game. Man, it was fantastic, though. Just
their 3 losses, by the way, all ended on Carson Beck picks.
Yeah.
That's rough for that man. Brutal. He's never going to outrun the allegations. And then we do have to take a moment to acknowledge the rarefied air. The running touchdown by Fernando Mendoza is going to go in college football lore.
4th and 5. Oh, come on, man.
I first of all, degree of difficulty up there with like the Jameis Winston run when they won the Natty. Because remember, Jameis hopped back and hurtled and somehow ran it in. But when he says he will die on the field for his,
I believe
he's not fucking around.
No.
I mean, he reached out full, like hands over his head with, was it Keontae Scott even? One of the hardest hitting safeties in college football, drilling him in the back after he spun out of a tackle before that. I mean, that's an all-timer, man. That's one we're going to be showing for a long time in every, national championship pregame show, pregame package. That was elite.
Yeah, that's what I told Gabe earlier, Kenny. It's like I think it's probably up there with the Vince Young run in the Rose Bowl against USC.
Damn.
I think I honestly degree of difficulty higher.
Yeah, degree of difficulty much higher. But the infamy of that play, and I know that was more of a walk-off scenario, and I get that, but there's not many plays like that, and it will be shown. So. Yeah, it was incredible. It was the ballsiest of ballsy calls.
And then the 4th and 5, back shoulder to Charlie Becker.
Yeah.
Kurt Signetti, there's a lot of things been attached to his name, but I did appreciate the trust he had for his players in that moment. That's what won the ball game, in my opinion. Honestly. Staying on the field, continuing that drive.
Yeah.
All right, last topic. Oh, guys. We had some games this weekend in the NFL. Buffalo lost 33-30 to Denver, and I want to stick on that game for just 1 second. Josh Allen came up. It is wild. Like you asked the question, Gabe. This is the reason why I'm asking this question: is this the worst playoff loss of Josh Allen's career? Buffalo was severely compromised in this game, in this playoffs. Really, it was Josh Allen. That basically had to put the entire team on his back. You guys have discussed this ad nauseum on this show. Ultimately, they just fell short against Denver, and Denver 33-30 beat them. Josh Allen looked broken after that game, especially at the press conference. Is this like are the choke? Sean McDermott's lost his job since then. Like they fired their head coach. Are the allegations about Josh Allen true at this point? That he can't get the job done?
I don't know exactly. That's such a difficult bag to unpack. But as far as was this the worst playoff loss of his career, to me, painfulness, no. Because the 13 seconds Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce, and they kick the field goal, go to overtime, and then Josh Allen doesn't have a chance to touch the ball. Like that was the most heartbreaking. Now, the one that was the most on his shoulders, yes, because you have multiple plays in this game where you say if he didn't make that mistake, then they probably win this game. The fumble before halftime is inexplicable. You got to get down there. You're not doing anything at that point. You're just putting yourself in harm's way and putting the ball in risk. He did that. Denver gets 3 off that. Then they come out to open the second half. Not necessarily his fault. Gets sacked, loses the ball. Denver kicks another field goal, goes up 23-10. And then the interception to end it, like, I don't know. Say what you want to say. Have your opinion about was it an interception? Was it a catch? Josh put the ball beautifully and just got unfortunate on what happened. So really the only one that I think is like, dude, you can't do that is the one before halftime. When you look at the stat sheet afterwards and you see that your quarterback had 4 turnovers, it's difficult because Buffalo outplayed Denver in this game.
I think they did.
For my money, Buffalo outplayed Denver in this game. They were the better team. I don't think we expected them to be the better team, right? It was going to be they need to force Bo Nix to turn the ball over. They need to get some short fields for Josh Allen. Like, they have to steal the possessions to win this game. Well, Denver had to steal the possessions and go to overtime and have a crazy interception, catch, whatever, to win this game. Like, Buffalo outplayed Denver, and they still lost because the turnovers and mistakes from Josh Allen were just a little bit too much. So it's tough, it's unfortunate, and it's compounded even worse by the fact that almost immediately after the game we hear that Bo Nix broke a bone in his ankle and was out for the AFC Championship. Yeah. And so then it's like,
didn't he do it trying to square up the field goal?
No, he did it. He did it on the first or second play on that drive. They ran like a design quarterback run out to the left, and his foot bent weird. And then they said when he took the knee, getting it into the field goal position, that's when he really started to feel it.
Adrenaline's a hell of a drug, man.
Yeah.
Good God. I'm going to answer this differently. I think this is the worst loss of Josh Allen's career, and I think it's the most painful. You were in a situation where you got to control your own destiny without Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow in the AFC playoff picture. It was a golden opportunity. It really was. And I thought Josh Allen's team played well enough to win. Yeah. I don't think Josh Allen played well enough to win. And that's a tough pill to swallow as the face of the franchise who makes the most money, who basically, if I'm him, I'm not saying this is correct or a correct thought, but I would imagine the Sean McDermott firing, he feels very, very, like he did it. Like he's the reason that Sean McDermott is no longer his coach. And even with that, that's what makes it even more painful. You have to have a change in leadership. There's unknown now going into the future. But to answer your question, going back to are the allegations about Josh Allen correct? Can he not, get through and get over the hump? I think it would be silly of us with a talent like Josh Allen to sit here and act like those are real things. Okay. The guy in his playoff career has played 15 games. He's got a winning record. And in those 15 games, he has a 67 completion percentage, 3,915 yards, 29 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He's usually phenomenal in the playoffs.
And that's
which
not
is
even
what
the
makes
stat.
this one.
Telling how many rushing touchdowns.
Not even doing the rushing yet. I haven't even done that. But that's what makes this one particularly painful.
Yeah.
When he's lost in the past, it's 13 seconds. His defense gives up some dumb shit to Patrick Mahomes, or his defense fails him. His pass catchers fail him. Was it Dalton Kincaid who didn't catch the ball last year or whatever it was? But this time it was on him, squarely on his shoulders. And listen, you make that type of money, all that, it's your cross to bear, but it doesn't make it any easier.
Kenny, you want to hear an insane stat? So Josh Allen has won at least one playoff game in 6 consecutive years. The last 3 teams to do that, do you know how many times they've been to or won a Super Bowl?
All right, say that again. 6 straight seasons of a playoff game.
I was a little confused too, Kenny, I have to admit.
6 consecutive seasons of at least one playoff win.
And that the last team that did it,
yes.
How many Super Bowls have they won?
Yeah.
It's got to be the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. The Chiefs, 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
The Patriots, 3 Super Bowls. The Cowboys in the 90s, 3 Super Bowls.
That sucks.
That sucks, bro.
He hasn't even been to a Super
Well, here's the problem. It's because Josh Allen's been playing the Kansas City Chiefs
Bowl. Right,
in
exactly.
those games, and they lost
Exactly.
to the Kansas City
Here-
Chiefs.
Can I ask a question real quick? I just thought of this saying that. Is he like the modern day Elway or Kelly?
Ooh.
Elway.
Yeah. As far as like Elway early in his career, I know he went to 2 Super
I
Bowls.
was gonna say, by the
It was very elusive until
not-
the end of his career. He goes back to back. I mean,
I was
Elway
gonna
was
say,
sort of-
I was gonna say Kelly's right there on the table.
Kelly's
He did
right
4
there.
straight Super Bowls.
yeah.
You know, so
And
it's
they lost
different.
all 4, right?
Well, Grant, yeah, but he got there.
But is he like that next great quarterback that either doesn't do it or it takes him an extended period to do it, where it might be on the back 9 of his career when he does it, or do we think
Well, my
that he
problem-
does it in his prime?
I hope he can get it done. I'm rooting for Josh. I like Josh. I think Josh is one of the most exciting players in the NFL. I think the reality of it is, though, you're going to have a new coach, new leadership, and your team's still incomplete. But
Yeah.
like,
Defense,
very
yeah,
incomplete.
defense is bad. Pass catchers are bad. It's really just they have an offensive line, Josh Allen and James Cook.
And I haven't checked the cap space numbers going in the next couple of years. I don't think they're doing very great as far as cap space.
Yeah.
And I also will say this. Sean McDermott was fired. Brandon Beane should have gotten a lot more consideration to be fired.
Did you see why they fired him? They said Brandon Beane, and what's the owner's name? Pagula, something like that.
Yeah, Terry Pagula.
They said one of the biggest reasons they fired him was because he did not approve of this roster.
No shit. I didn't approve of it.
But
No one approved of it.
but that was one of the biggest reasons they fired him, because Sean McDermott did not approve of this roster.
Brandon Beane
Is
is
that
not
not crazy?
drafted well. He's not drafted well for the past 3 years. He hasn't done anything on the offensive side. His O-line's good. He's done good with his offensive line. Very good offensive line. And James Cook, re-signing him, I'll give him credit. Pass catchers, inexplicably bad. And in your draft pick to try to solve that was Keon Coleman, who can't show up to meetings on time.
Right.
Defensive side of the ball, you can't stop the run. And your best, most high-paid player in your defensive front is Ed Oliver, who is 5'10", 270 pounds. That doesn't necessarily – generally, those measurements don't help with stopping the run. I'm just going to say that. You haven't found any really meaningful pieces in the secondary. Beneford's solid, but you've had to give up on a couple of guys. Remember Khair Elam?
Yeah.
You had to give up on him in a second. So
Yeah.
Sean McDermott, to me, was never really the issue. I thought it was roster construction and Brandon Beane continually balking at the idea of upgrading in little spots where he needed to with veterans. He tried to draft and he's not good at it.
Yeah. Anything else? We're gonna close this out. We went a little long. Do we have anything else?
Close this sucker out, brother.
Okay. All right, everybody, we appreciate you for watching this week. If you are watching on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, and comment there. If you're listening via podcast, whether that's Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, you can do the same there. Once again, we appreciate you guys for joining us, and we will see you back here next week.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports and how you can become an insider.